Okay, guys, we're going to take what we learned yesterday and we're going to apply them to these word problems because this is what's important for your EOG. All right, what is the length of a diagonal of a rectangular picture whose sides are 12 inches by 17 inches? Round to the nearest tenth. Always draw a picture. Your diagonal, as a general rule, is always going to stand for your hypotenuse. So that's going to be your x value. The sides are 12 inches by 17 inches. So we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. 12 squared plus 17 squared equals x squared. Use your calculator to find 12 squared, 17 squared equals x squared. Now you're going to add 144 and 289 to get 433 equals x squared. Now, this is the mistake that a lot of us are making. You've got to take the square root of both sides. The square root of x squared is x. The square root of 433 from the calculator is 20 and 8/10 inches. So your answer here is 20 and 8/10 inches. Okay. Number 15. Ross has a rectangular garden in his backyard. He measures one side of the garden is 22 feet. The diagonal is 33 feet. What is the length of the other side? So again, we're going to draw a picture. Always draw a picture. One side of the garden is 22 feet. The diagonal is always the hypotenuse. So that one's 33 feet. And x is the other side of the garden that we're trying to find. So we're going to go ahead and use the Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus 22 squared equals 33 squared. 22 squared is 484. 33 squared is 1089. Now you're going to subtract 484 from 1089 to get 605. Then you need to go on your calculator and take the square root, which is the second x squared button, of 605, and you should get 24.6 feet. All right, let's look at number 16. Number 16 says Troy drives 8 miles due east and then 5 miles due north. How far is Troy from his starting point? Now, due east is to the right, so that means he drove 8 miles in this direction. And then 5 miles north would be in that direction. How far is it from Troy? How far is Troy from his starting point? So our hypotenuse is x. So now we're going to do 8 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared. Wait, let me do this. $25 plus 64 equals x squared. 25 plus 64 is 100. The square root of 100 is 10. So your answer would be 10 miles. What I would like for you to do is to pause the video and try number 17 by yourself. Okay guys, what you should have done here is you should have drawn what the word problem asked you, which is, what is the perimeter of a right triangle if the hypotenuse, the long side is 15, one of the legs is 9, and the other leg is x? Well, you solve for x to get 12, but that's not all the question is asking. The question asked you, what is the perimeter? So if x is 12, we need to add all of these sides together. We need to add 12 plus 15 plus 9 to get 36 centimeters. That is your final answer. Please, if you want to work with a peer buddy or if you need help on any of these questions, please come ask me. I'm going to go ahead and move on. I'm going to walk you through all of these questions, and we're going to go from there. All right, a 20-foot ladder leaning against a wall is used to reach a window. So my ladder is leaning, so that's going to be my hypotenuse. Used to reach a window that is 17 feet above the ground. How far from the wall is the bottom of the ladder? So what we're going to do here is we're going to do x squared plus 17 squared equals 20 squared. 17 squared is 289 plus x squared. 20 squared is 400. Now I need to subtract 289 from 400. And then you get x squared equals 111. Now you need to take the square root of both sides, and you will get 10 5/10 feet. Number 19. Tina measures the distance between 3 cities on a map. The distance between the 3 cities are 45 miles, 56 miles, and 72 miles. Do the positions of the 3 cities form a right triangle? Now, we know it forms a triangle, but we don't know where to put the numbers. You should remember that your longest side is always the hypotenuse. And then your legs will be here. Now, in order to prove that this triangle is a right triangle, it has to fit into the Pythagorean theorem. as a true equation. 56 squared is 3,136. 45 squared is 2,025. 72 squared is 5,184. Now, I need to add these two to see if it equals 5,184. I got 5,161. It does not equal 5,184, so this is not a right triangle. Number 20. A pool table is 8 feet long and 4 feet wide. How far is it from one corner pocket diagonally to the opposite corner? 8 feet long, 4 feet wide. The diagonal is always the hypotenuse. So that is the length that we're trying to find. My equation is now 8 squared plus 4 squared equals x squared. 64 plus 16 equals x squared. 80 equals x squared. The square root of 80 is 8.9 feet. Number 21. A ladder 17 feet long is leaning against the wall. We already did that one. That's a repeat, I thought. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, here we go. Sorry, guys. Just making sure we hadn't done that one. A ladder is 17 feet long, is leaning against a wall. The bottom of the ladder is 8 feet from the base. How far up the wall is the top of the ladder? The 17-foot long ladder leans, so that is always your hypotenuse. The bottom of the ladder is 8 feet from the base, so that means the bottom is 8 feet. And the question is asking you how far up the wall is the ladder. So my equation is going to be x squared plus 8 squared equals 17 squared. Get x squared plus 64 equals 289. Now I'm going to subtract 64 from 289 and you get 225. Now I'm going to take the square root of both sides to get 15 feet. Okay, the last two. A wire 30 feet long is stretched from the top of a flagpole to the ground at a point 15 feet from the base of the pole. How high is the flagpole? X is going to be how high the flagpole is because that's what the question is asking. Your variable is always what the question is asking. A 30 feet long wire is stretched from the top to the ground. So your hypotenuse is 30 feet. 15 feet because this word base tells you it's at the bottom. It's from the base of the pole. So our equation is x squared plus 15 squared equals 30 squared. X squared plus 225, equals 30 squared, which is 900. Now don't forget, you have to subtract 225 and 900 to get 675. Now I'm going to take the square root of 675 to get 25 and 9/10 feet. Good job, guys. Number 23. Isaac's television set is 25 inches wide and 18 inches high. What is the diagonal size of Isaac's television? Now, remember, your diagonal is always what part? The hypotenuse. It's 25 inches wide, and this picture is not drawn to scale, and 18 inches high. So, your equation is going to be 18 squared plus 25 squared equals x squared. 18 squared is 324. 25 squared is 625. We need to add these two to get 949 equals x squared. Then we're going to take the square root to get 30.30 feet. All right, now I would like for you to do numbers 1 through 4, and whatever you do not finish is for homework.